The Ogryn rework, I haven't noticed many people making videos on the Grenadier Gauntlet at all. I can't find many builds online even that really show off the true power of this weapon. This thing is cracked now. I've been playing some Orc Maelstroms, and people have asked me, like, what's that build? Like, let me get that build. So I'm finally going to make this video showing off its potential. I'm going to go over a lot of breakpoints, a lot of buffs, and a lot of how to kind of play. So first, we'll go over the weapons real quick. So I use the Bully Club. It's a great sidearm to the Grenadier Gauntlet. Just as a note, the Grenadier Gauntlet is not very good at horde clearing. I mean, it's good at knocking people over. Its only real good melee attack is its heavy charge, but we'll go over that later. But the Bully Club is fantastic, dude. It is so good. Knocks them over, knocks them around, can stack Brutalist stacks on them. It can do it all. It can horde clear. It can get some hard kills on crushers occasionally. Kind of just stun locks them, But it takes a while, but it can get the job done. You got Thunderous and Skull Crusher, Carapace and Yielding, but we're not really here to talk about the Bully Club. It's just a solid melee. You can really use anything you want. That's dealer's choice, but I like the Bully Club. The Grenadier Gauntlet. So this thing, I've dumped melee damage there. That might not be the perfect roll for it. I think it's pretty close. I'll show you one issue it has later, that being 60 melee damage. That frustrates me, but it's not really a big deal though. I have Unyielding and Maniac. I'll go over why later. Shattering Impact, that's great for, weakening armored targets, and Pinpoint Target. That's good too. I'll show you why here in a second, why Pinpoint Target. One interesting thing about Pinpoint Target and how it works is the Grenadier Gauntlet can't shoot very fast naturally. So you see me shooting that? The Grenadier Gauntlet tick up right there. Let me reload real quick. The Grenadier Gauntlet tick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see that? Because the recoil on the Grenadier Gauntlet, if you just keep shooting, it'll always be at least 2. As long as you hold down aim and keep shooting, it will always be at least 2 stacks while rapid firing. So that's pretty big. That's 16% strength every shot, as long as you're aiming. That's pretty big. So how does this thing perform against elites and specialists? So without any buffs, it can kill him in one shot, him in one shot. I know he was taking burn damage. Just trust me, he died in one shot easily. All these guys, dead. They all die at one shot, except Maniacs, of course. Maniacs do not die in one shot. Everything else here will with a direct hit. Ragers will not die in one shot. They take 2. Now, it's important to keep in mind Shattering Impact. You can always just shoot him and then just melee the shit out of him while he's down. Just stun them all around. I'm just going to clear these guys out. So those are the people who get one-shotted. Get out of my way. So Ragers are interesting. This, if you don't know, the special on this thing is pretty interesting. Normally it'll take 2 shots to kill I think I called him a Rager. I meant to say Reaper. But if you use the special attack, it one-shots them. Now, I don't think it's very smart to run up to a Reaper and try to punch him. But if he's close enough, go for it. Crushers take 3 shots. I'll demonstrate that real quick, I guess. And that's because Shattering Impact is constantly brittling their armor more and more. And then Bulwarks is the most annoying part. Bulwarks are so fucking annoying. 1, 2, 3. So that was kind of 3. But in reality, it really takes 4 sometimes. Here, I need to wait for my reload buff to turn off. And I'll show the perk trees out here in a minute. But 1, 2, 3. Like, you need to shoot him a 4th time or wait for him to burn out. And I don't really like that. But I'll show a trick real quick. you can actually get them in 2. If you can get around them, shoot them like that again, it's only 2. And since they're bulwarks, they're coming straight towards you anyways, so, you know, that's pretty easy to do. Now, real quick, after showing off what it can do, at least, that's without my ability activated, but let me show you the perk tree. So we got steady grip, you know, woo-woo, heavyweight, you know, smash them up. You know, you guys know this stuff. If you've played Ogryn, these are the bread and butter. We got rock. Rock is, I guess, you can really use any of these. Rock is just the most useful, you know. Grenadier Gauntlet, 5 rounds. Sometimes you need a 6th round. Maybe there's not a Rager coming towards you or immune. You know, take out the rock, you know, just throw it, you know. You get so many of them, you get recharging them constantly. Just use rock. You can use any of this, though, technically, but I love rock. So we go this way. We get reload speed when reloading an empty clip. I want to talk about that real quick. Now, with how the game works, if you say, I'll shoot that, I'm at 4 bullets now. And a lot of people already know this. If I reload now, it's faster if I do it now than if I did, say, I shot all 5. Give me a sec. And reload. They're about the same. So that 15% only, like, you reload faster if you're on an empty, not an empty clip. You still have ammo in the clip. That's just like a mechanic in the game. The reason, and because of that, you can normally play around it by just reloading early, right? So it seems like you don't need this, but since the clip is so small, like, kind of, it's technically 5. With lucky bullet, you'll get 6, maybe even 7, maybe even 8 if you're really lucky. But with the clip being so small, you want to be able to use up all 5 shots, 6 shots, 7 shots, whatever, you know, in dire moments, right? So that's why I think this is worth taking. Strongman, yep. Point blank barrage. So this got updated, and let me kind of try to explain why light them up is so great on explosive weapons now, and pretty bad on machine guns, even though those used to be great with them. So it applies 4 stacks of burns while it's activated, max of 16 stacks, right? This and this fire away, so that's applying 2. This is applying a 4 per shot, right? So 6, you know, basic math, you know. Well, 1 stack of burn, 2 stacks of close range, so possibly 6, I should say. But it's a lot. It's a lot of burn stacks is the point. So let me kind of just show this off. I'm like, this is great for horde clearing in a pinch, or if there's a lot of elites, a lot of infected, like all bunched together, you can just pop your ult and just kind of just shoot, you know, and they'll all burn away, you know. And you could be shooting at an elite, like, or a specialist. The people surrounding him will start to burn away. You don't have to even hit them directly, and they'll just die. So, you know, 3 shotgunners mixed in with, let's say, you know, some fodder. You just shoot the 3 shotgunners, the fodder will fall. You know, it'll all fall in line. So that's great. I love the synergy between these two, because it's applying so much burn. Ammo stash. I want to talk about how important I think this is to any Grenadier Gauntlet build, because I think some people don't understand how important that 25% is. So this, by default, with 80% ammo in this Grenadier Gauntlet, I have 67 rounds, I believe. Actually, yeah, 67 rounds. So that 25% gives you 11 extra bullets. You're just gonna, like, I guess I can unequip it and show you guys, but you could also just trust me that. So now I'm at 55. So equip it. So that also does something really important. That changes small ammo pickups from 8 to 10. So not only are you getting more ammo in the reserves, you are getting 2 extra grenades per small ammo pickup, and that's even more on big ammo bags. I haven't tested that because the Psychanium doesn't give me big ammo bags to pick up, but it does. It does. So that's huge, because this thing's biggest weakness is running out of ammo. You want to be very careful about how much you spam it, because if you run out of ammo, I mean, your ability's useless then, you know. and then you're forced to melee, and you're not really a melee Ogryn. I mean, you can get the job done. You know, you can swing around, get some kills for sure, but that's not what this build's really all about. You know, all right. And so down here, we got unstoppable momentum is great on range kills. I value speed in this game. Like, Ogryn's biggest downside is how slow he is, how, you know, just unmaneuverable he is. So I take that. You're going to be proccing that quite often, you know, like just elite killing and all that. It'll be pretty active pretty frequently. So I like that. Let's see. Bruiser, yeah, I don't need to explain Bruiser. Pacemaker's great. You're always going to be proccing this. You're always going to be getting 15% reload speed, especially when this is activated. The biggest downside of Grenadier Gauntlet is it's slow as shit to reload. It's so slow. So with Point Blank Barrage activated, Pacemaker activated, so much faster. Mobile on placement, 20% reduced damage while bracing a ranged weapon. You're going to be bracing this thing a lot. Like, it's easy to do. You're recovering toughness while bracing it. You're taking less damage. It's great. You're taking less damage from elite enemies thanks to strongman, or, well, not elite enemies, just less in general because you're killing elite enemies and specialists, which is great. You're going to be so tanky, so tough, and I'll get to my Curios in a sec. I forgot to go over those just because I feel like Curios are normally pretty standardized and people kind of already know what they want. But I'll show you what I have on mine. Reload and ready, 15% range damage for 8 seconds. This is pretty good. I've thought about cutting it. You probably could cut it if you wanted to. I haven't really tested breakpoints very well on it as much as some other stuff. But I will say, what a lot of people don't know about that skill is if you're using Point Blank Barrage, so if I hit and activate my ability right now, if you see at the bottom of the screen, it activates the reload perk, even though I didn't reload. So that extra damage is stacking on top of your ability's extra damage while it's activated. So that's pretty huge. That's just free damage whenever you activate your ability. Like, that's big. We take Burst, Limited Override. You know what to do. The 15% chance to trigger Lucky Bullet, not consume ammo when making ranged attacks. That's huge. That extends how much ammo you have. It's ammo economy, ammo efficiency, which is what the Grenadier Gauntlet struggles with mostly. We have maximum firepower, of course. You know, this and this. You know, we want our ability as much as possible. Plus 100% cooldown when Lucky Bullet triggers. And as the update, the new Ogryn update, we have back off. We get a guaranteed Lucky Bullet trigger as long as we kill 10 enemies. That's huge. Just knowing when we're going to trigger Lucky Bullet and all we have to do is kill some fodder, I mean, that's easy. That's easy. Like, obviously the Psychanium doesn't have many people in it, and I don't have that mod where you can spawn enemies in, but getting 10 melee kills in Darktide, that's easy. You can get free Lucky Bullets all the time. The Lucky Bullets are making your abilities come back faster. The Lucky Bullets are also increasing your fire rate, which help you just go off, you know, on the enemies in certain situations. When everything's proccing properly, you're going to be destroying. So that's that. That's the perks. So let me show my Curios real quick since I forgot. So I run triple toughness Curios. I feel like most Ogryn should. On it, combat ability regeneration, that's non-negotiable. I would put more toughness on it. I would say that's pretty non-negotiable. Gunner resistance, I had stamina regen on it on an old build of this, but Ogryn's not really, like, I feel like I'm not using my stamina very often with this build. I'm just like bracing the Grenadier Gauntlet to take damage. I'm shooting occasionally, sometimes swinging my bullet club around, but I'm not really running around much. Ogryn doesn't really do that very well. So I switched to gunner resistance. I had 3 gunner resistance on originally, and honestly, it was too much. Like, gunners were already, like, not killing me. Like, even before I put the gunner resistance on, I did an Orc Maelstrom run with my friends, and I only took 13 damage the whole game. But now with this, I mean, gunners are doing nothing to me. When you're bracing the Grenade Gauntlet and all your little damage resistance effects are activated, they're not hurting you. Like, people hate gunners. That's like the biggest complaints of Ogryn is people complain about gunners. Gunners will not hurt you with 2 gunner damage resistant Curios. It's not going to happen. If they're still somehow hurting you real bad with this build, then take a third. When I had the third, I was like, man, this is too much. They're not doing nothing. So I put 1 sniper. I don't get sniped too often, but sometimes situations are so hectic you can't dodge and the sniper and all the enemies in front of you very effectively. So one of those can kind of mitigate a lot of the hurt that comes with being getting shot by a sniper. Okay, so now I wanted to show off some of the melee stuff with the Grenadier Gauntlet. Now the Grenadier Gauntlet, as I said earlier, it's not really a melee weapon. It's not a very good melee weapon, but there are things it can do. Okay, so hounds, we karate chop them, they get their head cut off. Snipers don't die in 1 hit. You saw that. But that follow-up attack, that follow-up light uppercut is so fast where, it kind of might as well be. It'll always stagger him. 1, 2. Give him the old 1, 2. Alright, and then since we have the Maniac, weapon, what's it called? Trait, whatever, the 25% extra Maniac damage. Flamers, we decapitate them. Alright, he wasn't at full health. He had a little bit more HP. I'll try again. Boom, decapitate. I love that too. I love how you just karate chop their head off. Karate chop, and karate chop. Now, this is, I mentioned earlier that why I think this Grenade Gauntlet might not be the most highly optimized one. Okay, so you saw mine is set to 60 melee damage, okay? This just frustrates me. This isn't like a big deal, but Trapper, I hate Trappers so much. But watch this, you'll know immediately. 1, 2, and he has that little sliver of health left. That little sliver. So it can't 2-shot Trappers. You need to hit them 3 times with melee. Not that you're going to be meleeing Trappers often, but I feel like it's important to talk about the melee damage breakpoints of the Grenadier Gauntlet just as much as the ranged. So mutants, I don't know why you'd try to melee kill a mutant, but so that was 3. So that was 1 heavy, 1 light, 1 heavy to the face. See, I missed the face right there. So yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing it for them. Shotgunners take fucking forever. You're not going to want to melee a shotgunner anyways, because they're shotgunners. I crit there, but you get the point. Those guys aren't really worth meleeing. The guys you want to melee with the heavies, the flamers, the dog, sorry, I had to cough. The snipers, you can. And yeah, the scab bombers, pox bombers. Those are the people you want to melee. The gunners over here, again, they just take a little too long to melee. You can 1, 2. I mean, these guys take the longest though. Normal gunners, you saw how many hits. That was 5 hits, a mix of heavies and lights. Just not worth it. You should just shoot them anyways. Blow them up. Maulers, I don't know if I mentioned this, but yeah, they take 2 hits from the gauntlet. Alright, so now I want to go over the ability and the ability breakpoints. When the ability and your lucky bullet are all active. So, as I said earlier, Maniacs take 2, they take 2, Mutants take 2, they all take 2. But, let me get some, make sure my lucky bullet procs. I'll show you. Get some kills. 6, 8, 10. Okay. So now I'm going to trigger Lucky Bullet. I'm going to get 10 stacks of Lucky Bullet. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And that's pretty easy to get. And if you didn't know, Lucky Bullet also gives you a damage increase. So I got 1 stack now, 2 stacks, 3 stacks, 4 stacks, 5 stacks, 7 stacks, 8 stacks, reloading. Obviously, you're not going to be shooting fodder enemies with this to get these stacks. But, alright, 10 stacks, right? Going to keep it alive. Watch this. 1 shot. 1 shot. one shot. This is still going to be a couple shots to kill them all. But you saw there, you can, when you have your 10 stacks, and your abilities activate, you can one-shot Maulers, Ragers, and Mutants easily. I want to keep my stack going for a sec. You can also one-shot them if you get at least 3 stacks of your weapon blessing. Hang on. I need to keep Lucky Bullet activated. If you get at least 3 stacks of what's it called? What's that called? 3 stacks of pinpoint firing at 10 stacks of Lucky Bullet. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's 4. I think it's 3 if you've recently reloaded. So reload. 1, 2, 3. He's dead. 1, 2. He's dead at 2. 1, 2. Even if he survives, they'll normally burn away. But yeah, so as long as you pay attention to your Lucky Bullet stack, if you've recently reloaded, you can also one-shot Ragers and Mutants, which is pretty cool. Ragers especially, because I hate Ragers. There's always a pack of them, and they're gonna, mess you up. And another thing that's great about the Grenadier Gauntlet that I feel like is kind of understated is the knockback. I mean, look at where everyone is now. They're so far away. It's knocking them over. In a horde situation when there's like a lot of Ragers or maybe even a dog coming after you, you can just shoot at the ground and they'll stagger. It'll stagger them every time, every single time. And that can save your life. That can save your team. You can, if you're trying to revive a teammate, maybe do a quick, boom boom. They'll all fall over, quickly revive them. By the time they get back up, you probably already saved your teammate. It's all good. So I think that's about everything. There is one thing I wanted to show off that you can do, and this will involve me getting 10 stacks of damn, I don't even remember half the fucking names of these perks. I'm not gonna lie, I just remember what they do. Back off. I need 10 stacks of back off to show this next little trick off. Okay. So I have 10 stacks of back off, right? So that means the next shot I fire of the Grenadier Gauntlet will trigger Lucky Bullet. Now let's say you don't want to trigger Lucky Bullet yet. Let's say I want to save that for later, but there's a guy in front of me. He needs to die. I don't want to trigger Lucky Bullet. You can actually use the Grenadier's special attack like that, and you saw there it didn't trigger back off, so it didn't trigger Lucky Bullet. Oh, he actually survived that one. I think it's because I hit him in the shoulder. But it doesn't trigger Lucky Bullet. So if you for some reason wanted to bank your Lucky Bullet and save it for later, you can. You can save it for later, and still utilize the Gauntlet's ranged attack. So as you see, it's not triggering. So yeah. That's a pretty cool thing I actually learned before recording this, is you can essentially not trigger Lucky Bullet and still be able to shoot it at melee distance, essentially, which is really nice, actually. And of course, if you shoot it regularly, it will trigger it. So yeah, I think that's everything. I know this was a little rambly. This is the first time I've made a video ever, but I just wanted to show off the power of the Grenadier Gauntlet. This thing is ridiculously powerful. I might include a clip of me using it in one of the games. Maybe not, but just trust me. Try it out for yourself. You're gonna be the elite killer, dude. You're gonna smoke them. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace out.